Hello.
Hello.
Fancy seeing you here.
Ha! You appear to be on twitch.tv/programming adventures. Or the YouTube channel associated therewith.
One of several video platforms. So last week we ended on not quite getting moving cards from one list to another working.
We were close though.
We were close. We've worked out what the problem was.
Haha. Shall I open it up? Look
Yeah,
under the hood?
yeah.
Right. Here we go. I haven't got like a screenshot of how we'd had it that was wrong.
So last week, so this is the fixed version now. I can just if I put it back to the broken version, is that gonna...
That should be fine.
Okay. Just gonna... Oh, no. Not that. Tell you what, you do it. Rather than me leaning over and doing your laptop.
Okay.
Do you remember what the incorrect version was?
No. Was
so
it
if you
just set to face
delete
down?
that line.
The whole line?
Yeah, the whole line. Do. And the brackets. Yeah. Perfect. And then if you delete temp and then make it say face down. Dollar face down.
There we go.
So that was the broken version.
Yes. What are we going to do to fix it?
And the problem was that into means replace whatever value this variable currently is, replace it with whatever Dex first value is. So we thought it meant put it into this list.
Yeah.
But what it actually means is put it into this variable and replace whatever's already there with that. So now AJ will show us how to fix it.
Yes, I will, and I'll totally remember exactly everything.
You can probably
we've
just undo
deleted.
it if you want.
Let's undo it one bit at a time.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so instead of moving the Dex first value into face down, we instead move it into a temporary value, which is literally just a placeholder. Like, here's somewhere that we don't have to keep. Then I believe it'll be new line. Yes, it is. Here we go. Okay, did it all a bit at once there, but essentially, instead of like putting it into it, since that doesn't put it into the array how we thought it was, what you've actually got to do is reset what the variable's value is by just making the temporary value an array item, like a single item array, and then adding that to the face down value. And since that's all within the square brackets, it'll do that each time for like however much the die is rolled as
Exactly.
Yep, there we go. Fantastic. So it's easy and I'm a genius and it works now.
Yeah.
Should we go through and show it not broken?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We've still got, like, the print thing isn't how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
We've just got that there so we can... Oh, maybe I didn't fix it.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I didn't put it back all the way.
Because it worked when we did it before, didn't we?
Yeah, but maybe I deleted something there and forgot to... No?
Oh, is it just because you started it from this?
Instead of from...
Yeah, so if you...
I'll just play from the beginning.
Yeah.
Since apparently that matters.
Yeah, because if you remember, we set up
set
some
the
of the
deck
values at the
earlier,
beginning.
and it needs to go through that for it to actually work. It doesn't just remember it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we haven't actually created all of the values that we need.
I guess that's interesting because I hadn't really been conceptualizing it that way. Like, I'd been seeing like the map of it as being like, you know, objects that were stringed together. I didn't think it had to be like, well, you have to go through this door to then activate what's in the... I just thought of, well, like, yeah, that will have happened earlier, so if we start it here, that will have already happened.
Yeah.
I didn't realize... Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Here we go. Yep, so here we get the 4 values, which we can see. That's not how it's going to end up being in the end, but it works. We've made the through the thing it was supposed to do, which is get 4 cards. There's also like actually all the cards in the deck now, not just 6 placeholder values.
Oh yeah, you sat and typed out all of the cards.
Oh no, copy pasted.
Oh, copy pasted. Okay.
It wasn't that bad. Okay, sweet. So,
what's the next thing you want to do?
What's the next thing I want to do? We can probably. I'm gonna delete this because I think it'll make more sense, especially now knowing what I need to know. If it's what's the word? If it's sequential. I was trying to say consecutive, but sequential is what I was after. So I'll delete these. This was all placeholder text anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let me just undo that, because then I can use that link in the next one. Boop. And I'll just put that in here for now to get the next bit, and we can see what the next set of mechanics is. Sorry.
I was going to suggest, now that we've got the face down cards working, instead of it saying instead of it just printing out the cards, you could get it to print how many you have.
Yes,
you could
that's
say
good.
You have however many
in face down. That's a much better idea. Great, yeah.
So do you want to see if you can work out how to do that?
We definitely read something last time which told us how that would be done, but I don't remember it. It's been 5 days.
you know how to print out values.
Yeah, it'll be in here. It's
and you know how to show text because you have some here.
I'm trying to think. What's there's a I know there's a macro or a command or whatever you call it for counting. How many?
Well, you have. So I was going to suggest that you know how many you have because that's the number you rolled on the die.
Fucking hell, yeah, of course it is. I was doing in my head. I was like, okay, so how do I figure out like the amount that's in the deck, because I know that there's a command for that. But you know, if this is teaching me how to code, then teaching me how to code is teaching me, no, you just do the simplest thing. Actually,
rather than counting the length of the list, you might as well just use the value that you know is the same.
So shall I just type you have and then is it just underscore? Is it equals?
So
I'm trying to remember how you do the variable. I know it's very basic, but
that's right. That's how you do the variable.
Yeah.
But do you remember how to tell it that the thing you want it to do with the variable is to show that number on the screen?
Is it this? No, it's not this.
If you look at the line above the one you're currently typing.
Print. Okay, so do I in here just is it within this that I do print?
I think you'll need to put
brackets?
the bracket. Yeah, if you put the brackets around it, I assume that will work. It might not. I might be wrong, but that's my guess.
Cards face down. And at some point later, I'm probably going to change the text of this because, you know, this is... I'm just writing this so that me, the person working on it, understands, like, mechanically what's going on, and then we can change the text to fit the fact that there aren't any real cards anymore later.
Sounds good.
Okay, you have cards face down. And then, so shall we see again?
Should we see
Play.
if that worked? You have 1 card face down.
Nice. So we can just fully get rid of the print for the values now because we just don't need it.
Yeah, if you want to.
Because we know it's working, so we don't have to use that as a test anymore, is what I'm thinking. Okay, so shall we look at what the next mechanic shit we need to figure out is? Okay. Back to the PDF. Okay, so now we get the pleasure of face-up cards.
Okay.
Okay, so this one should be easier, really. Um, if we're just going to do it on a pure mechanical basis, and I can go back and add the reference table stuff in later.
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, if we start off with drawing 4 cards and the placing them face up part,
Yes.
and then we can. I think a good thing to look at would be how we're actually going to do the reference table.
Yeah. So let me just quickly go back to this one to remind myself of how...
I would honestly just like copy and paste that and then edit it in the next one. That's how I do 90% of my coding, is finding something similar that I did previously and copying it.
I'm trying to... Because it's going to be much simpler than this, because we don't need to roll the die. We can just say... we know the amount that it's going to be, which is 4, so I'm just trying to think how... would it just be... move decks first? Would you still use 4 to make that happen 4 times? But just we don't need this in here because we've got...
Yeah, I think it's basically going to be almost exactly the same, except rather than the line where you can delete the line where you set die to random. You'll still need to create the array that you're putting in.
Yeah, but call it something. Call it face up. Who'd have thought we could call it face up? That seems nice. Yes. Okay. Set face up to that. Set. We can get rid of set die just entirely, can't we?
Yep.
Boop. For each eye, but then just... What do we do? Do we just make this all 4?
So we still want the range of numbers from 1 to 4.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's just that we... Yeah, there we go. I remember now.
Perfect.
There we go. I think I'd forgotten what a range was.
Yeah.
But I've got it now. Move stacks first into temp. Yeah, but then obviously make this face up instead. Up. Face up. Yeah, so this can be another thing where, like, for now we can just have it as printing what they are, but we could also have it printing things specifically based on, like, you know, just cut out the middleman for the reference table. But there's 52 cards in a deck, so that's going to be a lot of copying and pasting. Well, yeah. Shall we look at that?
I was going to suggest we can... I mean, if for now you just want to...
It seems like a good idea to...
Yeah, if for now you just want to print out what cards you've got.
It seems like the next step we should probably take.
Okay.
Let me scroll down to one of the to the first reference table that we're going to use then. I think Oracle of Patronage, that's the right one? Yes, it is, the Oracle of Patronage. It's been a while since I've actually sat down and read this. Yes. So. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, so there's actually.
Okay, so this is the bit we.
Yeah, there's a different reference to... I forgot when I was copying that over. There's actually a different reference table based on which card it is. So, like, if it's your first card, it's a different reference table than if it's your second card. So
you might not want...
Instead of it being face up, it should be something else.
So you might not want the a whole list. You might just want to have 4 variables that are called dawn.
Yeah, I don't think we need the 4. I think we just... Instead of temp, we should set... Can we set an empty variable, or would we just put a variable in here?
I think probably what you're going to want to do is delete everything except the line that says move.
Okay.
And just have move dex first into, and then make a new variable called dawn. Yeah.
So what I meant is, like, I can just create that by typing it. I don't have to set dawn like I did with the array.
Yeah, the reason that we needed to do it with the array is that we we were trying to add so this is an assignment where we're assigning a value to dawn.
Yeah.
Whereas the first thing that we do with the face up array is we add whatever is already in there to something else. So if there's nothing already in there, then I suspect it wouldn't work. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's dawn, noon, dusk, and night. If I can actually... Okay, there we go. There we go.
And you can delete that first line.
Yeah, because we don't actually need the face up part now.
Yeah.
Sweet. So I keep doing that instead of... Here we go.
Okay. So we've got one thing based on the value of the card, and then something different based on the suit. Is that right?
Yeah. So, is doing this, is making these reference tables. Oh no, because I can still just. Yeah, is it going to be easier if we somehow separate the number and the suit as two distinct values that are tracked, or is it going to be easier to just like put both of these things into each one? So, you know, like have the 7 and the hearts on the 7 of hearts and etc. You know, like,
I think the more sensible thing to do is going to be to separate them into value and suit.
okay.
Because you've got a lot of tables like this, right?
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense to spend a bit more effort on getting the cards set up right, rather than having to have overly complicated, rather than having a lot of repetition later on.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's hop back over to here's where the deck is set up in the first one.
Okay, so I'm not so each one is 2 characters long, right?
Some are 3, 10s are 3.
Okay. So the 2 ways that come to mind, a horrible way,
okay,
which is to see if there's a way in Twine to get the last letter of a string. A string is like AH, 2H, like a set of characters. We can see if there's a way in Twine to get the last letter of a string and like manually split the string up into 2 parts.
Or
which is my phone ringing?
Yeah, I don't think it's mine.
It is. It's fine. Or the other way is to actually, like, in this list, represent the number and the suit separately.
Yeah. Which seems probably like the more sensible option.
That seems more sensible to me. I think that I suspect that it won't break it. If we make, instead of these all being strings, if we make all of these into an array.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask, would it be like each suit is an array of values, or would it be something else?
So you're gonna still be able to want to treat each card as its own thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So my suggestion is that instead of this being an array of 52 strings,
it's an array of 52 arrays.
It's an array of 52 arrays where each array is 2 strings. The first one being the value and the second one being the suit.
So would I do that by starting off with putting it in brackets? A.
And then...
But then this changes.
Yeah, so I think you want so rather than it having... So you separate each item in the array with a comma.
Yeah.
So it'll be A in quotes.
Oh, in quotes.
And then a comma, and then an H in quotes.
Space or no space?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
And then you want a closing bracket, and then comma,
and then basically that, but for all of them.
and then that, but for all of them.
Okay. I'll just copy this and replace as I need to. It'll probably be easier.
Yeah.
Because I can just do it for the first lot, and then then I can copy 13 at a time.
I'm going to suggest not necessarily doing too many to start off with.
Oh, just to get it to actually work.
If you maybe do like...
I can just finish the hearts and then...
I think it would be good to have 2 different suits.
Okay.
Because...
Hearts and clubs then.
Yeah, so if we do like 5 hearts and 5 clubs maybe. Or, however many you want to actually type out now.
Well, what I was thinking was, now that I've done a full set, I can just copy the whole set and change the suit instead of the values. Then just go in and make it clubs. Nearly there. There we go. Okay, so we've got a 2-suit deck.
So I think the first thing to do is to check that we haven't broken any of the stuff we've got already.
I like to do that. I like when things aren't broken. Okay, let's just play.
Mm-hmm.
Play. No one. There. 3 cards face down. And then it doesn't do anything. Yep. Okay, so it still works.
Seems to still work. So...
Should I also add in a print?
Yeah, shall we, or we can... Yeah. Have a look at what it looks like.
Okay. So it still separates them like that, which is, fine, but we'll... Yeah.
So now what we're going to want to do is go back to a new cut is made.
Yeah. Ooh. Here we are.
You want to do one thing based on what the number is and one thing based on what the letter is, right?
Yes.
And because it's so if we go back to your table.
Yeah, it's going to be easy for it, the one based on the suit is essentially just going to be printing this question.
Mm-hmm.
And again, and same for the value is going to just be printing this, whatever it is for that one, but regardless of which suit it is.
So if you could open up the Twine wiki again.
Yes.
If you search for like Twine Harlow wiki or something. That looks good. So we're gonna want, if you look at the data structures, they call it a data map. So if you look at DM,
but this is a DM-less game. Sorry.
So you can see it pairs string names with data values.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have so rather than an array where it's just a list of values, you associate. So these are the values on the right hand side here, and then on the left hand side is the way you get to that value. So instead of like Susan, Tina, Gertie, you'd have C for clubs and so on. So, and you do that just with DM. So if you want, I would suggest if we go back to our Twine window where we're actually editing, and then whatever you want to call this table, maybe like dawn lookup or something. So we're gonna.
What am I doing now?
So we're gonna instead of creating an array, we're gonna create a data map, a DM. So we're gonna need to give it a name so that we can refer to it.
Okay.
So we're gonna use set. Yeah. Don't forget the brackets though.
You're right.
And then the colon after set as well. Yeah. Perfect. And then it's 2, I think.
So dawn table 2.
And then you
DM.
so you're gonna want the opening bracket. Yeah.
And then down here.
Yeah.
List
I assume it can be on a new line.
I think it's just because it was like that one. The example is why I was thinking that.
So then, the first one, I guess which of the 2 suits we've got? We've got C and H.
Hearts. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna want C in quotes.
I'll do H first.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And then a comma. And then if you go back to your PDF.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that's associated with hearts. So if you copy that whole.
Oh shit. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
In quotes again?
Yeah. And then another comma.
And then same but with C.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can put the later ones in here as well, even if we haven't added them yet, because we know what they're going to be.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, PDF. So I was just remembering what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. So the advantage of this is that we can refer to these values directly with the name that we've given them, rather than being like, oh, if it's a C, then look at the 4th one, and then if it's an H, look at the 1st one, or whatever way around it would be. You can just say, give me whatever value is associated with C.
Nice.
And it simplifies it a lot. Great.
Is that right?
That looks right to me.
So.
And then, shall we try? If we go back to the reference and see if it tells us how to look up these values once we've stored them. Yeah. So there's how you add stuff, and then set element, set map to it, supply name. Okay, it doesn't actually tell us how to look up a value once it's in there, I don't think. Does it say at the top how to do it? If you click data map at the top, maybe it explains more. Data structures, you can use set, animals, frog. Okay, so we're going to want look up tables and then the value. So if we go back, if you type, if you just put print dawn tables, it's dawn table apostrophe S, and then C, I think. I think just not in quotes, maybe.
Just like that.
Surely it's in quotes. It must be in quotes. Let's try putting it in quotes. I refuse to believe that it's not in quotes. Yeah, and then if we play the game and click through to here, hopefully it should show us. Yeah.
Sweet.
So.
Yeah. So it works.
Yeah. So if we go back to when new cut is made, obviously here we're just saying the letter directly. But the dawn variable has got is a list with 2 values in it.
Yeah. So, but do we add the other values to the same set, and it will print both because they both show up, or?
So we're gonna want to print whichever one of these values in dawn table is the second value in the dawn variable. So rather than just always printing the club's answer, we're going to want to print the answer that's related to... I'm not sure if you'll be able to do it all in one line.
Could you just say print dawn tables dawn, and then it would be the value that's in dawn?
You want dawn table... I think you want dawn's second.
Dawn's second, okay. Print dawn tables dawn's second, okay.
And then you need the $sign in front of dawn.
Ah, yeah, I do.
I'm not sure if that will work because we're doing like 2 different lookups in a row, so we might need to put dawn's second into a temporary variable. But let's see if this works.
Sorry, I don't think this is... this has took it as... Yeah. No.
Yeah, so I don't think it likes the string Q.
Yeah, because we haven't added that into the data map yet.
Is second the value and first is the suit?
That's not the order. That's not the order I did it, I don't think.
So it's saying dawn's first is the string C, dawn's second is the string Q.
Yeah. So C is right, but Q is because it's a queen, obviously. But it's... I think the fact that it's getting the Q and doesn't know what to do with it because it's in the thing is because it's not in there is confusing.
I'm not so what I was expecting to happen is that it would look at dawn, which has got 2 values.
Yeah.
Take the second value from that, which should be C in this case.
Yeah.
And then say, what value in dawn table is associated with the letter C.
But it hasn't done that.
But it hasn't done that. It's trying to look up the letter Q for some reason. Its names include H, C, D, and S. We've got face down, dawn. Is it showing us dawn table here? It's not showing us dawn table here. That doesn't really matter. So I think the first thing to try is going to be to do this in 2 separate lines, because I think it might just be it all being in one line that's confusing it.
Okay.
So if we think of it as the first thing that we want to do is find out what suit our dawn card is. So if we make a temporary variable called suit on the line above this one. So a temporary variable is underscore.
Yeah. But I mean, what am I doing?
So we're gonna make a temporary variable called suit and then put the whatever value is dawn's second into that variable.
So set.
Sorry, I need to move slightly.
But this will have to happen 4 times. So shall I do suit 1?
Well, let's leave it as suit for now and see how we
Okay.
get on. And then so then you want to print. Perfect.
Nearly left that one closed. Okay. So that should work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Will I have to open it again, or can I just go forwards again?
I think you'll need to open it again.
Okay.
I couldn't find a suit data net name in a data map.
Oh, I think this is the same thing where it's changed to the variable instead of changing.
I think it's trying to find literally the word suit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's changed Dawn's second to suit. Is that wrong, or?
I think what's happening is that it's trying to find literally the string suit.
As a string, as opposed to as a value.
So we can check if I'm gonna suggest that we look up how to, if we look at let's have a look at the data map wiki page again and see if we can work it out from there. You can add new names. You can express the name as a bare word if it doesn't have space or punctuation in it. Data maps may be joined together. You need to know the names. Data names provide a sorted array of names. Data values, a sorted array of values. Data entries provides an array of names and values. Is not, contains. Is in, plus, question marks. Obtain the value using the name on the right. Obtain the value using the name on the left. Matches. Is a. Okay, so it's not clear to me how you could look up a value in a data map using a variable. So I'm gonna suggest that we do some Googling. Hang on. If you want to store values that directly correspond to string whose order and position, if you need to preserve the order, several string names, set animals off to how. In the event, the second data map, you need to know the names. Okay, yeah. So I think if we Google something like data map, look up value with variable.
Sorry, I've just read the sentence. You'll want to use data maps if you want to store values that directly correspond to string and whose order and position do not matter.
Yeah, that's right.
But ours do, don't they? Because we're saying the second.
Our array, the data map's just the one. It doesn't matter if we've got clubs means this and hearts means this, or if we've got hearts means this and clubs means this.
Okay, all right. I think I was just getting a bit confused.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different. It's got complicated now that we're trying to look stuff up based on other things. So there's a horrible way to do it that I can think of, which I'd rather not do. If we search for something like Twine, Harlow, get value from data map with variable.
Get value?
Value from data map with variable, maybe. Harlow set, Harlow data map, Harlow 2 manual. Text input tutorial. Okay, so global variables can track time. It seems like you've got to actually type out the name of the it seems like it won't let you just like use a variable name to be like use whatever value is in this variable, if that makes sense. So if we go back to for the data map, so we're trying to look up Dawn tables whatever value is in suit. But it seems like it doesn't let you look up whatever value is in a variable. You've got to literally just type out C, H, D, or S.
Which isn't useful to us.
No. So because we've only got 4 values for this table.
Yeah.
We've got, how long have we got
Well,
left?
there'll be another 13 when it's full.
Yeah. But we can have these as 2 separate tables.
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest for now that what we can do is we can use string comparison. So we can say if suit so instead of doing set suit to Dawn second and then print Dawn table suit, we can say if so basically what we're doing is we're saying if the second value in Dawn is a C, then print Dawn tables C. If the second value in Dawn is an H, print Dawn tables H.
Okay.
Which is sort of viable because we've only got 4 values. But if it was much more than that, this would start getting a bit ridiculous.
Well, it will be 17 values. Or even, well, no, I guess
we can, so
4
for
and then 13.
Yeah. And then I think you need to close the if statement and put square brackets around it.
Oh. And then square brackets around this.
Yeah.
Print Dawn
tables.
H.
Yeah. And then I guess you don't need to put quotes around it because it doesn't care if it's got quotes around it or not. It just treats it as a string either way.
Oh, okay.
And then for this, rather than having an if each time, I'm going to suggest we use else. So I think you can chain them together. So you can have if this thing is true, then do this. Otherwise, if this thing is true, then do this. So if we have a look at wherever it's gone, else if. So you want else dash if, and then you can treat it the exact same way as an if.
Okay.
The difference being that if you're only using if statements, then it will look at each if statement one at a time and check if they're true and then do it.
Eliminate the options as you go.
So if you're using just if statements and not else if, then it doesn't eliminate the options.
Yeah.
It just looks at each one and then it looks at the next one. But if you use else if, it only even looks at if else if is true, if the first one is false.
Okay. So it guarantees to check all of them, which I guess in this instance isn't really.
So if you're only using if statements, then it will check all of them. If you're using else if statements, it will check all of them until it gets to one that's true.
Yeah, and then stops. Sweet.
Cool. Yeah, should we see if that works?
Yeah, sure. Well, shall I just do the others in case it's not one of them?
You
only put those 2 in. Yeah, I forgot we'd only done that. Okay, nice. I did close that off, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay, so play. Oh, I guess it worked.
Oh yeah, I guess it does reset it. Oh yeah, weird.
Unless it... No, maybe it's just because I hadn't closed that other tab. It went back into the other tab and hadn't... Yeah, because it didn't go through the beginning again. And it was only doing clubs, I think, but...
Yeah, so we're printing out... I mean, you've got a 50-50 chance that of which one it will print, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems to be working.
Yeah, so do you understand what's going on here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Question mark, but I think so.
You can have your noon table that will have these different values, but for noon, and then you can go if not noon second is this. Print this. Obviously, like, this means that you've got to have this whole messy if statement.
That's fine, no?
It will be fine. It will be fine for the suits for now. I'm gonna before we do the next one, I'm gonna see if I can look up a nicer way to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we've got about 10 minutes left. So
yeah.
Is there something we should try and do before wrapping up, or?
I'm thinking. Because I'd assumed that we would just be able to check things in the table based on variables. I think we can. I mean, yeah, you might as well keep typing.
Yeah, sorry, I was just waiting for you to.
No, I was just trying to think. We can have a look at your PDF and see if there's another mechanic that we can get started on.
Okay, yeah, there definitely are. There's ton of mechanics in this thing.
Yeah, I guess like the worst case scenario is probably that we do this thing for the suits, and then instead of calling aces, we call them ones, and then we might be able to use like the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to look up items in an array.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've got no problem with changing them to the actual number value. I've only been writing them as letters because I was thinking of them as cards, but like they don't need to be. So
yeah, so we'll see. I'll have a bit more of an investigate of how Twine's data structures actually work, and see if I can work out a neater way to do this for next time.
Maybe I'll have a think on some just like layout choices as well, because like, you know, currently it's just a bunch of mechanics string together. It's you know, when we're going for when we're test playing it, like, you know, it's far from playable, but you know, I might try and massage it into it being slightly more playable before we start next time.
And then so we've got sort of the idea of how you can look stuff up based on different values.
Yeah.
We're sort of butting up against Twine.
Twine's capabilities.
Yeah, Twine's capabilities, because it's designed to be a very simple thing to use, which means that there's limits on what you can do.
Yeah, I'm wondering, so for our purposes of what we're doing here, which is you teaching me how to code, but via getting me to do this, is it more appealing to you to see what we're able to do within these limitations and what we butt up against like this, or is it more worthwhile to be like, oh well, I can see how this is going to be very like frustrating if we continue in Twine, maybe we should just hop to Python or something else? Would you rather stick to Twine than get this finished? And
so Twine, if you remember in the very first video, we were talking about how Twine has got several different Twines.
Yes.
And the reason that we've been putting Harlow every time we search
is because we're using Harlow.
Using Harlow. there's another version of Twine that lets you just put code from a different programming language in.
Okay.
Which is called JavaScript.
Mm.
And that's a much more fleshed out programming language.
Play Minecraft on that.
JavaScript's actually different to Java.
Shit.
So yeah, Java. Yeah, there's a few differences between them.
Yeah.
But they do have very similar names. But so we could move to Python and start looking at doing programming in Python. If you're keen to end up with a Twine game that you can share with people as a Twine game, then we might end up wanting to switch to a different version of Twine, where we can use JavaScript, which has got more functionality now that we're sort of coming up against the limits of what this version can do.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I feel like, we can also... I feel like if we're going to move on to a different thing, I can, in my own time, see how far I can get in the more limited version as, like, a form of practice.
Yeah.
So, like, I can get, like, formatting and stuff sorted, like, separately than what we're doing on stream, because it's like, all right, well, this is essentially an obsolete copy now, except for copying from it or whatever. So, like, I can just play with it in that way.
Yeah. Maybe we can, before the next one, talk about what we want to do.
Coordinate a little bit.
Yeah, but it seems like we're maybe sort of coming up to the limits of what you can do in Harlow.
Okay. I mean, it also could be, I'm sure there's still plenty of stuff in Harlow that I'm yet to learn. It's just that I'm doing something very specific and weird that it's not designed for.
Yeah. it's mostly, I think it's mostly designed for telling a story with a little bit of interactivity.
Yeah, like text and like being able to track stats and other things like that. But
whereas you're trying to do something that's got a bit more mechanics to it. So I think before the next video, we'll decide if what we want to do is start doing Python streams, or if we want to stick with Twine and we want to start doing a different version of Twine where you can do more programming in Twine.
Maybe we should do that because it feels like baby steps.
Yeah.
It feels like a natural progression.
Okay. So maybe next stream we'll start looking at a different version of Twine then.
Sounds good.
It's gonna look very different.
Okay, that'll be scary, but I'm up for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the concepts are the same. You've still got things like if statements, you've got lists, you've got variables, but it looks much more like how other programming languages look.
Okay. So it'll help ease me into Python when we finally make that jump. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that you'd, be fine with Python. Like,
I feel like a shocking amount of like what my brain is comfortable with though is like, if I've started to grow familiar with, like, I feel like this is very visual in like, just the fact that like the different syntax is like highlighted differently and it's all sorted out that way. I feel like, I can make, even if I don't necessarily, I feel like I know where to look when I'm trying to look for things in this, or at least I can use like, if you hover over things, it highlights certain things, or I feel like I can figure things out, and so like I think if I move to a different thing that's visually different and doesn't have the same level of like cluing you into what's going on, that would be a struggle for me. But I also have faith that you can drag me along.
Yeah, I mean, when we start looking at Python, we'll use something that's got highlighting like this, and we'll use something that lets, so when we've been like trying to work out what's going on, when something's not working, we'll use a program that lets you go through the code one step at a time and see what's happening each step. So rather than it doing everything that's on one page as you go to each page,
and you having to reverse engineer the problem, it's actually like, oh no, you at the point of issue you can okay, that's cool.
So it gives you a lot more feedback about exactly what's broken and how.
Which will be good to learn in.
Yeah, which is most of making something is what's broken and how.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sweet.
Next week, I think we'll be starting to look at, or not next week, on Friday.
On Friday. Oh shit, that's in 2 days. Is that too soon? No, we can do it.
Is it Wednesday today already?
It's Wednesday, yeah.
Wow, this week has gone.
That's why we're doing this today.
Quickly.
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dude.
Cool. I guess on Wednesday we're going to start JavaScript then.
Wait, Wednesday or Friday?
Wait.
Who's on first?
Where am I?
It's Wednesday now.
Wednesday
next
now.
stream, if we stick to our schedule,
on
what
Friday.
we talk about will be Friday.
Next stream will be Friday. And we'll look at JavaScript.
We'll look at JavaScript.
Great.
Sweet. Thanks very much for coming along, everyone. I had fun. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That's how people usually end streams, right? Isn't it? We've actually got stuff to...
Yeah. We've got a Twitter...
We've got a Twitter account now.
Hang on, let me look, because there was a lot of... I tried a lot of different Twitter handles, and all of them were taken or too long. So the Twitter is at adventure_codes.
Okay, that's good.
Which you can follow for stream notifications, and also I'll be posting links to YouTube videos. And if I've got any corrections, if I make any mistakes during videos, I'll be putting corrections on Twitter. So you can follow that.
Seems good.
The videos are still going up on YouTube.
Yep.
You might be watching it on YouTube.
You might be.
In
Hello.
which case, congratulations, you found the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can watch a live version on Twitch.
You don't have to wait.
Which you can also find links to from the Twitter account. It's probably the easiest way to find it. But the Twitch channel is Programming Adventures, twitch.tv/Programming Adventures, all one word.
Do we have an email address?
We absolutely do not have an email address.
Okay, cool. Don't ever try and contact us.
If you want to contact us, you can tweet.
At us. Are our DMs open?
They will be soon.
They will be soon.
Yeah, if you've got questions about any of the stuff that we've talked about during the stream, if you're trying to do Twine stuff based on what we've covered in the streams, and you're stuck on something, if you've got questions, please do tweet at us, and I can try and help out.
Yeah, I've literally, between the last stream and now, I've literally looked at this like once to fix the issue that we had, and haven't really done anything. So kind of getting where I'm at in like live, like you're basically seeing the whole thing of my development here.
Yeah.
So, but also if you've got questions, Darcy's on the fly, Darcy's going to mostly be catering it to me and what I don't understand or I'm struggling with. So if there's something that you feel like we glided past or that maybe could be expanded on a bit more, etc., that's a good you're encouraged to do so.
Yeah, you can either send us a tweet or put a comment on YouTube.
Yep.
And I'll try and look at YouTube comments to see if there's any questions in those as well.
Sweet. Unless enough people start doing that it becomes an issue, like all YouTube comment sections. In which case we'll immediately abandon that promise.
If we get wildly popular and I've got hundreds of comments asking me for my expert Twine advice.
I was just more thinking like someone calls us a slayer or something.
Oh, I'll just block them, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, if answering questions in YouTube comments becomes a problem, then I'll start a Discord channel.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. If you got this far in the video, I'm not sure why, but thanks for watching all the way to the end. And see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.